Well, that was special. That was very, very special. Haven't seen that jersey exchange since Anthony Foley's jersey exchange way back a few years ago. Talk us through that, Sumo.
Jared Percival presenting the jersey as a gift to the Sri Lankan side. Campbell Busby's words, Inga Tangara o Hiri Ranaka, to the people of Sri Lanka, e mihi ana, we give our thanks. Mō te aroha te manaki for your love and care for us during our stay. Ngā mahara hoki, taking memories away from here that we will never forget. Person who helped to write the start of that haka, Kahurangi Whalawa, and that is a special mihi welcome just for this occasion, just for the Sri Lankan people, that goes with the presentation of the jersey. It is a wonderful gesture from this side.
Well, that really is an outstanding gesture from this New Zealand under-85 team. Whatever the result, we will remember this tour for all the right reasons. Jaco de Wit is the man in charge today, and he's no stranger to Sri Lanka. Done several school and international games here, as well as young Braden, who is running one touchline, and Gihan Yatavara, who will manning the other touchline. Tarindaratwata coming back from injury for this very crucial clash. Gets us underway. Taken immediately by Callum Nemo. Ephraim's back in the land of his grandfather. Look for the box under a little bit of pressure. And Srinath Surya Bandara, who is recalled to the starting lineup, will be alongside his mate, Lasindu Ishan, who runs back for that one. It's a very different ground, it's a very different atmosphere as well, it's a very different time of day. So how the teams adjust from last week will be important in this first few minutes. Ratwata, this heavily strapped left knee. Josh Gellert waits, takes it well, stays on his feet, but this time the Sri Lankan defense is up quickly. Siddhanaka needs to release. Offside is a call, they never retreated.
Indication too that Percival knows his kicking game well, wants to put some pressure on the Sri Lankan side. Shane's of the first match in Kandy, a mistake from the first kick of the game. So they'll sit now on the halfway line, options left and right, but they've got to get their kick receipts under control. Sri Lanka, Percival, very good. He's a good kicking tactician.
And this is something that's all about experience again, Sumo, because they're used to Sri Lankan kickers maybe gaining 40, 45 meters, but these guys, it's quite easy for them to get 55, 60 meters with their drop punts. So that's something that they've got to run onto rather than run back towards.
I don't think Kurunatalaga was expecting that kick in the first place. It's a depth issue, isn't it? Just perceiving how far the ball is going to come, making sure that that back three is set appropriately. There's some solid contact early in this match.
Tom Rowland, who doesn't look like a loose head prop, but held that scrum pretty tight, and Sri Lanka have a little bit of a steal early on in the game, and Rathpatta returns the favour with a long punt downfield. But this is the danger man, and he's fresh from his exploits from Nittavala. Francis Morrison carries strong. Goes blindside, Callum Nimmo.
Good option.
Ephraim's again. And that's a little shoe and a go for Francis Morrison once again, cutting Sri Lanka open. Just can't find the man, but Pitford has the bouncing ball. Sri Lanka collapse well this time. But it's still available in the red zone, and that seems like it might have been Lasindu Ishan over the top. Might be cynical. Let's see what the referee says. He says no, just offside.
Has been a problem. Morrison, Sri Lanka still looking for that answer to try and stop him. He has been a real trouble in that opening game and continues to do so here in Colombo as well.
It's just good attacking intent. I love the fact they went short side on that first phase as well, trying to draw Sri Lanka across, making sure that they weren't able to spread on the open side, just making them think, okay, we have to protect the tram line on the narrow side. Very good support play too from Jack Lady, and Paxton was quickly there too.
Richley Paxton coming into the starting lineup in place of Tyler Koenig, who drops to the bench, but that's an untidy maul. And, good defense from Sri Lanka to force that error.
Sri Lanka using their superior weight advantage when it comes to the forwards to good effect there. They will, the forwards will be very happy that they've managed to disrupt that, because New Zealand got their first try in Nittavala through a maul.
Let's watch this one. It seemed like it just came off the shoulder of Josh Gellert there.
Yeah, just Purdon just got the ball, just couldn't bring it under control, and they had already set and bound on him, so the ball just bounced off the back and then went loose. Nimmo couldn't pick it up. Big scrum this, first of the game.
Important moment this, the scrum. Sri Lanka can get some dominance, which they certainly haven't. Lasindu Ishan has to come off the back there quickly and set it up for a little bit of an angle. Tilina Bandara is the second option for the carry. Just giving a little bit of space between the charges down and Tarinder Rathpatta, and it's come off the post. Oh dear, this is going to be dangerous. It's bouncing everywhere, but fortunately recovered, and now Johnny the Dilshan will be run down by Busby. Danushka Ranjan, man who also once beat Jerry Tuai to the line, will be needed a little bit more often today.
Wow, that's extraordinary. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life. Looking for the exit kick, it's hit the upright, bounced in the end goal. They've done well to scramble here, Sri Lanka, and get out of trouble. Indications too of the pace out wide for the Sri Lankan side. Ekanayaka showing good wheels, but Campbell Busby very quick on the cover.
Good work by Busby that time to cover, but Tarinder Rathpatta, even if he tries to do that, he might not find the purse, but this time around had the good sense to try and recover, and very good work by Johnny the Dilshan to try and get out, and Danushka Ranjan unfortunately losing that forward.
Rathpatta stayed alive there. If he hadn't wrapped around, that was a certain try.
That was a good scrum. First scrum for the New Zealand side, showing good parity. They do give away a weight advantage. The way the fixtures have been organised, there is a weight limit on the Sri Lankan props for these two fixtures. But still, that weight limit's around 105 kilograms a pop, so we're not talking about small men.
Certainly not, and that being said, I don't think the limitation means that we've left too many of our first-choice front rowers off this team sheet. Pasiata, who scored the first try up in Nittavala, a little chip over the top. Surya Bandara has to be alive to it.
It's a goal line, he grounded it here, lads, goal line.
Goal line dropout, that's good cover. Surya Bandara getting the start this week, came off the bench, looked effective too. But that's a clever option from the New Zealanders, playing very flat up to the line, single line attack, and then looking to expose Sri Lanka over the top. But Surya Bandara had good focus, kept his ground and kept his position well.
He's an experienced man, been in and around the Sri Lanka lineup for nearly 2 decades. Srinath Surya Bandara. Started his club rugby in about 2007 as Callum Nimmo puts his head down and carries into the Sri Lankan first line of defense. Nice step by Megson. Lovely work from Megson. Good quick ball for Jackson Ephraim. He needs to find a willing runner. Just couldn't find someone taking the ball at pace. Josh Burden.
You play. Thank you.
Jack Lady smashed hard. They felt that all the way in New Zealand, I'll tell you. Tanuja Jahavira, now Sri Lanka with turnover ball. Heshan Jansen, quick to the boot. But Francis Morrison has it covered well. Well, he might have been going down, but that's still going to be a penalty every day of the week.
Yeah, I think Marashanka was the man, wasn't he? Just slipping up a little high on the tackle, but New Zealand's playing advantage here.
Oh, and just couldn't get the offload away to Callum Nimmo. It was a good tackle by Jonathan Dilshan on the cover. There was plenty of space. And fortunately for him, the front rower just couldn't get onto his winger's pass.
7.5 minutes on the clock, and Sri Lanka have really made sure that they bring the intensity. They're looking at controlling that opening exchanges, which they didn't do very well in Nitawala, and will want to make sure that they put their foot on the pedal when they have the opportunity.
Well, Sudarshana, I think we're already seeing greater intent on defence from the Sri Lankan side, and that's a good line-out take as well, uncontested, so it didn't have to be straight.
Here's Heshan Jansen. Oh, that's Pasia Asiata, who might have had a hand in there. So we'll have a look at how the referee wants to look at it. Tanushka Ranjan, nicely with the offload. Nowhere to go for Srinath Surya Bandara, but he finds his left winger, who again is wearing number 14, Dinaleka Naika. Nice ball across for the big front rowers in centre field. Still playing advantage. Here's Lasindu Ishan. Stands strong. He's got a low centre of gravity.
No!
Plays like a tiny Rodney Soyalo, and here's a nice line break from Tilina Bandara, who's been one of the best Sri Lankan forwards of this tour so far. Here's the ball. Beautifully done. Danushka Ranjan's got men over. Just has to find the right one, and that's beautiful defense by Francis Harrison, from Jamie Bedford rather. Outstanding work from both teams.
Created the overlap beautifully, Sri Lanka, and just ran out of room. It was good cover defence from Bedford.
Not even looking at you. He's trying to fall back. Thank you.
Just in conversation, the referee, but these are good signs for the Tuskers. Just able to create a little misdirection, something that was badly missing from their game in Kandy. Have a look at the play here. Good quick pass, and that line. Good straight running, good support play, and it was set up nicely for an opportunity. Ranjan looks the goods. That line crucial in straightening the attack.
Brilliant work that time by Akash Madhushanka, who created that line, straightening things up. Now the crowd getting behind the Tuskers.
Nila just unable to drag that out of the hands of Asiata, who took it nicely at the back. And Callum Nimmo's had to carry pretty strongly into traffic early doors in this game.
He started well, and that's a good clearance. Out of trouble, New Zealand, but they are in a scrap here tonight. Sri Lanka's attacking intent. You have to make note of this. If they can stay on this pace, they will trouble this New Zealand defence. They are scrambling at times at the moment.
It's wonderful to see the packed house today here at the racecourse. It's a long weekend in Colombo, but that hasn't dulled any of the enthusiasm. Everyone's poured out, made sure that they've supported the Tuskers today. Jack Leety still reeling from that smash into the ribs. Not straight that time.
This time there was a contest. New Zealand looking to contest the line out, so they'll win the scrum. Yes, we'd like to pass on our best wishes to everyone. It's a big festival, which all starts here on Monday. And we know it's a very important couple of days for the people of Sri Lanka, and the flags are out everywhere. So we wish everyone a safe holiday and a safe celebration.
Let's go. Relax.
Vesak is probably the most important Poya or full moon in the Buddhist calendar every year. Just preceding those couple of days with this wonderful occasion here.
Sit.
Another scrum for New Zealand, and Asiata will be eyeing up that blind side for sure. But instead they go to the open. Lovely little chip over the top, so accurate. And Srinath Surya Bandara is 2-on-1. They needed to look for the man inside, but instead they go for the chip.
Oh, that is a wonderful piece of play from New Zealand. Percival finishes the job. He started it as well, but so many players involved. This is just expert level rugby skill from New Zealand here. The positioning of the back three for Sri Lanka, we talked about it at the start of the match. It was exposed on this occasion. Shanaka, that is a quality rugby union try.
Yes, that is a wonderful try, and they knew exactly what the defensive positioning was going to be, and Jared Percival read it like a book. Managed to find that pass, and when Srinath Surya was isolated with 3 attackers, there was just nothing to be done. I thought he took the wrong option here, but just had to find a man inside, but luckily the bounce was favorable. And Francis Morrison.
Oh, the bounce of a rugby ball, it can be heartbreaking at times, but there was still work to be done in the defence as well. Haka did his best to bring down Morrison, but Percival was there in support, and chance from the sideline now.
So narrow Sri Lanka's defence. Johnny the Dilshan just not in the equation there at all. Jared Percival will... Oh, that's the second time. That post seems to have some glue on it or something, or a magnet, because he's just attracting the ball.
Well, jubilant Kiwi supporters, they've enjoyed themselves in Kandy, here in Colombo as well. Their boys have given them a spectacle. Very, very proud wives, girlfriends and family who've followed them around here in Sri Lanka. Absolutely lovely to see them enjoying and having a good time.
Oh, they're great families, great supporters, and I can tell you, if Sri Lankan Airlines website is not crashing from the number of New Zealanders wanting a trip back here, I'd be very surprised.
Certainly good news for Sri Lanka tourism. We'll be happy to welcome them all and take them to a few rugby games. Josh Burton with the restart.
Taken back.
Josh Gellert now.
No effect.
Wonderful back row that has been working so well individually and as a unit.
Wall 6.
Eshan Jansen. Lasindu Ishan. Srinath Surya Bandara. Can he recover from his mistake earlier? He does well to take Sri Lanka over the halfway line, but finally Johnny the Dilshan, Fernando rather, sets it up on the 5-meter line. Nice long ball across the face of the defense, but Asiata with a lovely defensive read. Dinal Ekanayaka, Jack Leahy.
Just like to see them be a little, they're just too deep for me on that attacking wave. They need to come up, put pressure on the New Zealand line, because the turnovers keep coming.
Campbell Busby. Oh, that is a beautiful bounce, but he wasn't meaning for that to happen. Really well done.
New Zealand.
Absolutely right. That what Scotty said, that Sri Lanka really aren't attacking the ball from deep. They're not running onto it with any pace. And as a result of that, they're just allowing the turnover to happen for New Zealand.
Sri Lanka need to be mindful of the numbers that they commit around that ruck as well, because New Zealanders are being very canny and only committing about 2 players in order to make sure that they have the numbers at the back. Messy line out, but still getting away with it are the Tuskers.
Straight down the center of the pitch from Tarinder Atwata. Hasn't been able to do much today. Percival with a huge up and under. Oh, that was so high, came down with snow on it. And Heshan Jansen drops the ball looking into the lights.
That's a wonderful kick. That is a great high ball from Percival. His kicking game's been on point here today. Sri Lanka, if you have a look at the phase count, 3 or 4 phases in the attack, if you have a look at the back line, needs to be flatter. If the forwards are going to be involved in pod play or as ball carrying options, they need to come up, put pressure on that New Zealand line, make the New Zealand defence have to make a decision. And they don't have to at the moment, because the depth it's just too much. And so they know they can wait for the pass and then organise themselves defensively. That's just an error. It's a tough kick to take. It was a wobbly old kick, and you can't really blame the man for that.
Stay there.
Nice drive by the underweight New Zealand pack. Cutting back is Peter Swartz, finding his way into the starting lineup in place of Ben Scott today. Beautiful short ball to Josh Gellert. Ephraim's pops it out in front of his truck runner. And this time Jared Percival deputizes at halfback. Here's Paxton.
Rook!
Still available, nice fast ball for Gellert again.
No hands, one.
What about the clean out from Megson?
Backwards, all good.
Lovely pick up off his bootlaces, Francis Morrison. Callum Nimmo. It wasn't on for Pitford there. There was no room for the winger, so Nimmo had to do what he did.
Can't play half back. Playing the half back, lads.
Sri
Ball
Lanka
was still on the ruck,
conceding.
wasn't it? It was just a split-second decision. Unfortunately, it's cost Sri Lanka another penalty, but I think it had to be made. New Zealand, I think we're about to score there, and that's just experience of play. It's a risky decision. You can draw the referee's ire and perhaps a card as well in a situation like that, but it was a play that needed to be made.
Yes, interesting that
I'll
the
do the
referee
same. You
hasn't
have
had
the
a
ball.
second look at that, but
I'll
he will
protect
maybe
it.
speak to the captain and say, look, you're in your
ball,
red
yes.
zone. I don't want too many more of those.
It wasn't easy. It wasn't pretty for New Zealand, still finding a way.
Nimmo, he might have wanted to throw that pass in hindsight, but he's going to get another attacking chance here.
Hands off. No, no! No!
Ephraim's now in a bit of a battle with Janidu Fernando, and Fernando comes away winning that particular little skirmish. And Tarinder Rathwatha finds touch this time, but Pitford was already in touch when he dropped that ball.
You can play there, lads. You can play there.
Tarinder's clearances are going to be absolutely important for Sri Lanka, especially in that red zone. It's going to be difficult otherwise for Sri Lanka. As you can see on the Sri Lankans, and the perspiration is not easy. The humidity, despite it being a little cooler than when the sun was out,
Numbers.
is going to get to both the
You're
teams.
fine, you're fine, you're good.
Important line out here for Sri Lanka to make sure that their
Backwards.
defensive work is not for naught. Josh Gellert clears up the untidy ball at the back of that line out. Ephraim's. Percival. Lovely wraparound, and there goes Megson. Run
Away.
strongly today. Tom Rowland shifts it on to Jack Leahy. Leahy into the 22.
No!
Nice presentation
No.
from the big second
back.
rower. Nice decoy running as well. Busby with the big fend, but
Off your
Rathwatha
feet.
brings him down nicely. Smashed in there was
Don't milk it. The ball is
Tom
there.
Rowland,
Stay there.
or Giandro Dutoit it was.
Thanks, mate.
You know, that's the first time that New Zealand have made a mistake, and certainly the first one from Pitford. Here's Marasinger, biggest man on the pitch today.
Advantage is over!
Srinath Surya Bandara trying to spark something from Sri Lanka.
It's like he's covered in
out,
bees,
that
isn't
ball
it?
is out.
It's hard to tackle.
Wonderful sevens exponent,
Use it.
Sumo in his prime.
Stay 4.
Scored tries against the best of the Seventh Circuit. That's a nice kick. An even better chase from Dinale Kanayaka, just unable to hold on to it, and now the counter-attack is open for Francis Morrison. Here's Swartz, manages to find the offload. Megson still going, beautifully done by Megson. It's a short ball to Jared Percival, and he's going to go over for his second one, a brace for the captain.
Pure counter-attack brilliance there, Jared Percival. Second try of the match. This time he's just in good support. The kick was good. It was a good option, just needed to be taken. Once again, the bounce of the ball favouring New Zealand. They quickly swung onto attack down the left-hand side. Megson again. He has been such a handful. Morrison involved. Just have a look at the way that they attack. Swartz stays on his feet. Megson running the support line, straightening the attack. New Zealand always with a player inside in support. Percival, a slight juggle from him as we saw last week in Candy, but it doesn't matter. He's pretty pumped up about getting a double this early in the game.
Well, the high school All Boys will be celebrating that try all the way in New Zealand. And it was 10 degrees, Sumo, when the Chiefs took on the Crusaders in Christchurch. But it's about 25 degrees hotter here today, and you can see Jared Percival is feeling it.
Break.
Yeah, I know you're a Crusaders man too, Sanaka, so it's been a tough afternoon for you here as the Chiefs got the job done in Super Rugby.
Expecting your team.
But yeah, Jared Percival out of the high school All Boys, Light Bears.
So just the
Yeah, there's a handshake for the referee as well. Don't see that too often.
A little bit of chat with the referee Percival. Massive Sri Lanka cricket fan from what we found out. Adores Kumar Sangakkara as his favourite from Sri Lanka as well. So
I think he's just angling for a free dinner.
Well, it wouldn't help that he didn't even rate Mahela Jayawardene then, because should have rated them 1 and 2. He would have been eating
That's right.
crab dinner today for sure.
It's been a very good start, hasn't it? The New Zealand side, they look on their game. Again, yeah, always changing the point of attack, never looking for the first option, looking for that second attacker. That kick from Percival to set up the first try of the match. It was sharp play from Busby. He had options inside. Morrison maybe just wasn't close enough in support. So, and the kick was made. Busby stayed in it. In fact, it was Peter Swartz who made the kick. And Jared Percival just running good support lines, as you should.
Options inside and outside. Here's the second counter attack. Schwartz with the Fen, and the Fen just enables him to free his arms and give the controlled offload to Megson, who has been excellent so far today. And Jared Percival running those lines, the kind of tries that Andrew Mertens would love.
Yeah, Johnny Hendricks on hand too, social media manager with the team, so that'll be straight to the Instagram. Yeah, I think it's a lovely lesson for younger players there. Megson stayed in support. The acceleration came right at the line where he was able to bust through the tackle. It's the small details at the moment for New Zealand.
Sri Lanka being caught in the counter attack for the second try, and some excellent first phase work from New Zealand for the first try. That now they need to get the ball in their hand. Janitha Fernando with a nice dominant tackle on Pasia Asiata.
And crossing over here, just getting in the way, New Zealand, so they give away a penalty in the danger zone. This is a very good attacking opportunity for Sri Lanka. Do they have the will to attack and the intent to attack? That's the question.
important opportunity for Sri Lanka. It'll be interesting to see, and they will go for towards the purse. Ideally, would have been ideal if they could have tried to go to touch and then created something, because it's not very every time that you get the opportunity and possession in the red zone. But Arindra Ratwate has been a trusted kicker in the setup. Will want to try 10 points to nil, or 10 points to 3 reads so much better than 10 points to nil, which is what Sri Lanka will be aiming at.
Trying to get themselves within one score with this. That injury doesn't seem to be bothering his standing leg at all. Tarindra Ratwate knocks Sri Lanka's first points over on this ground that has become very familiar to him in Sri Lanka colours. And it's a welcome return to the Tuskers jersey for the other Ratwate.
Well, contrasting schools of thought. There'll be some who think go for the corner, look for the try, but opening points are opening points, and 3 in the bank for Sri Lanka, and that's important to keep this crowd in the game early.
Well, the Sri Lankan Lion, the mascot, loves that one. But it's going to take more than 3 pointers to keep this New Zealand team at bay. So now that they've got points on the board, Sri Lanka need to settle down, get some confidence, and say that if we played like we did for a few phases, we can do this. Nicely taken there.
Use it.
Not a singer, that was an amazing take.
Get out wide, Rux.
Just, again, technical errors here for Sri Lanka. Just their own worst enemies at times. Again, in an offside position, again on the kick. So from scoring points at one end to now having to defend again inside their own 22, as New Zealand will definitely go for corner.
Not often you have to retreat from a box kick, Sumo, which is why they were caught unawares there. But that kick from Heshan Jansen coming off the side of this boot. So the Sri Lankan players were obliged to get back and retreat 10 meters, which they didn't do. You can see the fans desperately fanning themselves.
The New Zealand contingent here feeling the heat in more ways than one.
substituting anything that they can for a fan. Brilliant take by Gala that time.
Coming off the back was Josh Purden. Met well in defense. This is where Sri Lanka have been doing a bit of training. There's Akash Madhushankar with a beautiful carry. The center on the left on the loose head prop. Callum Nimmo been so good in this first half.
Well, it's just a little bit of a scrap here, but that is another good turnover for Sri Lanka. Straight on the ball, straight over the top, and now a chance to clear. They need to be accurate with their exit plan.
That's the kind of play that really lifts a team, isn't it, Sumo? Yes, Bedford just not able to find touch Tarindaratwata, and this is dangerous for Francis Morrison. Manages to find Pitford. Dina Lekanaika goes in there, but loses their feet.
Move one.
Frames again. Good drive from Sri Lanka.
Off your feet.
Coming back for the penalty again. Off feet is the call.
Well, we talk about accuracy of the exit, and you can't miss touch in a situation like that, especially when you've got the likes of Pitford and Morrison just waiting for the opportunity to click play. And everything else about that exit looked so good from Sri Lanka, but it's the final detail once more that could prove costly. New Zealand now camped inside the 22 with an option to attack either from scrum or line out.
Sri Lanka have themselves to burn. They have made mistakes in the red zone, which have paved way for the opposition to really put pressure on them.
So this is where they really need to scrum hard. Need to get a drive on here, Sri Lanka. It doesn't look like they were really trying too much. Lovely line from Campbell Busby on the short pass from Jared Percival, and they go back to the blind side. No, in fact, they change their mind now and go to the open side. Josh Purden.
No contest.
The Ferns. Busby flew into that clean out. And here's Giandre Dutoy.
Off.
Frames. It's just unable to get out of that tackle was Josh Gillett, but it's available and numbers available outside for New Zealand. If Francis Morrison can find him, and he does. Peter Schwartz goes over for the try, but again, excellent hands from the New Zealand inside backs.
So many hard lines run by the New Zealanders in the build-up to that try. They worked through the phases. They took the crash ball. The pass was always on. Instead, possession was kept, and they drew Sri Lanka in. Narrow defence. There was always going to be numbers out to the left-hand side. Peter Schwartz on hand to take the final pass, but again, flat attack, well set up. And they worked Sri Lanka over defensively. Look at the number of Sri Lankans who are having to now fan out and cover. Just didn't have the personnel when it really counted. Sucked in once again to that narrow attack of the New Zealanders, but always with the intent to go wide.
New Zealand making up the hard work in the middle and making sure Sri Lanka narrow up in defensively and on the outside channels. Finding space 3 times now. The first couple of tries came through brilliant counter-attacks. Finally, we find the target.
Jared Percival has got his sights now, having a chat to Jaco de Wit. It was plenty to say also to JP Clements last week, so Jared Percival is not the type to give up an argument. Must be an interesting chap to have a beer with, Sumo.
Oh, he's a good man. He's extremely proud to be captain of the side. He's a very handy player. He's been around that Crusaders setup. He's spent a lot of time playing rugby in Christchurch, latterly with the under-85s, but he's played throughout the grades. He's a very good player.
Taken that time by Megson. Heshan Johnson to Lasindu Ishan, who hasn't had a lot of running to do yet. Oh, that pass is an inaccurate one, and Danushka Ranjan has to go back.
Oh, Busby just with a massive misread here on the play, and he's made the hit, but it was nowhere near the ball. He just got committed, put the head down, so he was unsighted, but the pass was a mile gone before the tackle was made. So we're just going to take some time and make sure that the health and safety of the player is paramount here.
The Racecourse turf looking absolutely beautiful. Good work done by all involved, bringing this game to Island Shores, and Sri Lanka as a nation absolutely proud to be hosting New Zealand U85, especially given the fact that they are on their debut tour.
I know the New Zealand under-85 community is also watching this with interest. Sumo had a message from our good friend Jamie Wall
Director
down
CMO, can we
in
get that back on screen,
Christchurch,
that last tackle, please.
and he said
CMO,
that the
can we get that last
Poneke
tackle on screen, please?
Dogs of War that he plays for won the under-85 title 11 years in a row, and there's a lot of under-85 players. And you talk about, that's where we see Campbell Busby smashing straight into Dinale Kanaik, and there was no wrap, so it was a shoulder charge, which is part of the problem. So will there be more than a yellow card here is the question that they're asking.
1-3.
Oh, Jaco de Wit has
Captain.
reviewed the footage, and he is now going to have a conversation
Jared.
with the guilty party.
Making contact there. You did try to pull out. Be careful. If that was a head contact, you would have been gone. No more. No more. No more on foul play discipline tackles, okay? No more.
I think he's talking about
pulled
that,
out. Yeah, no more.
where the tackle
So
was
he
made.
tried
He
to
said
pull
contact
out
was
and
with
there
the
was no head
chest.
contact,
That
so
saved
just
Campbell
penalty on
Busby.
me, all right?
There will still
No
be a penalty
more.
for a late tackle or a tackle without the ball. But yeah, we've seen tackles like that don't quite reach the yellow card threshold. I think that's very good refereeing for the occasion.
Very fair, I think, and a good lesson for Sri Lankan referees watching this as well. They've just had a great workshop with Bryce Lawrence, who's come over from New Zealand and conducted a workshop for our match officials. Good to see these things being interpreted in real time as well. Plus in the Vishan's pass, and that's tried to pull out when he realized that Ekanaika didn't have the ball. So not a high degree of danger there.
Now,
Looked pretty
golden
uncomfortable
opportunity.
though, didn't it?
Very good opportunity for Sri Lanka inside the red zone.
Tirina Bandara takes it in the middle of the line out, and now Sri Lanka get a drive on. They've got to make the most of this now. Lassi Dasanayaka at the back, but they've come through. Josh Gillett, he swam straight the way through and manages to disrupt a little bit, forces Sri Lanka to play it maybe a little bit before they wanted to. Dinale Kanaika was called off his wing to be the first carrier. Akash Madhusanka, but straight over the top of that ball is Asia Pasiata from the Poneke club that Jamie Wall loves so much.
Ah, that's the Tuskers at their finest. Got the line-out drive working.
One
It was
back from the
beautifully
side.
organised as a maul. And you're quite right. Josh Gillett probably saved New Zealand some blushes there. He swam through, straight through. Got his hands on the ball-carrying player, which means they had to get rid of it. But this is another gilt-edged opportunity here for Sri Lanka. Yeah, big hello to Jamie. He's had more clubs than Captain Caveman, Jamie Wall. He spends his time between Auckland and Wellington. Pornicki is his first love, though. And you mentioned the Dogs of War. He's been a proud member of that club for a long time. But this is expertly done by Gillett. Had to happen, too. They were on the move, Sri Lanka.
Bandara again, now they shift it to the front peel. Navin Marasinghe drags it to the 5-meter line. They're just short.
Last feet.
The crowd erupts as Heshan Jansen gets smashed. Not the right option there. But offside is the call, and Sri Lanka will have another opportunity.
14
Second
and
back-to-back
5 offside
penalty.
of the previous
So
breakdown.
Kiwis need to be on notice now. They need to be careful because next time the referee could reach out to the pocket. Sri Lanka now brimming with confidence. Crowd getting behind the Tuskers.
Oh, this place will pop off if they score a try here before half-time. And the crowd are willing this home side on. I just don't think that was right from Johnson. I think he needed to go.
Yes, he did need to give that ball out, Heshan Jansen. Sri Lanka's first choice scrum half. He's risen pretty fast from being second choice at Kandy to starting and now to be the first choice for Sri Lanka. But this time New Zealand are up for the line-out maul defense, but Sri Lanka finally get the march on. They're still going.
Oh, this is good.
Dasanayaka has it at the back, thinks about going off, and now he does. Needs his mates behind him.
Oh, New Zealand have a huge reprieve. I thought they'd originally sacked them all. New Zealand thought they were going to concede another penalty. The referee saw it differently, said, no, Sri Lanka, you've just come apart at the seams. And that is sensational defensive work under pressure.
Outstanding work, and great to see a smaller side defending the maul from a bigger side.
And he had no effect.
Taranduratta not happy. He wants to have a word, and I think Pulasi Dasanaik at that time, his decision making was a little erred. Once the ball went down, the initial set of the ball went down, he had the ball in his hand. There were too many black jerseys around him, and the small was still alive. Would have been ideal if he could have come out and then attacked the fringes either on the short side or the open side, which would have given Sri Lanka a better option.
Just lost their shape there, didn't they? So then isolated, New Zealand had rights to the ball, and it was still considered a maul. So as long as that ball didn't come out, it was going to be New Zealand's possession.
Spot on, Sudarshana. Pulasi Dasanaika hasn't really played since that last match in Malaysia.
Yeah, because he was in the middle.
He was a little late coming away from that,
if it's
the
on
back
the
of that
outside,
maul.
that's a problem. Okay, let's go, fellas. Time back on. Take it in.
Well, it's very early in New Zealand now, almost 2:30 a.m. in the morning, but we have plenty of people who are in front of the screens getting messages from some of the Sri Lankans who are domiciled in New Zealand that they have their eyes open, they have something to speak about with some of their colleagues when they go back to work.
Ephraim's defeats. Sri Lanka just have not been able to make an impression in the scrum despite the significant weight advantage, and Ben Megson carries strongly to give Jared Percival a little bit of space, but it's available for Sri Lanka, just can't get it. Janidu Fernando, the loose head prop, just getting beaten by the ball.
So very close, but no cigar for Sri Lanka a couple of times now. Not Tilina Bandara, he's done that all season during the domestic league. Had the good sense of the oncoming defenders from Sri Lanka to try and get the person down, but Jonathan Fernando's footballing skills.
Yes, come on, 7 minutes, then it's
must
half
be
time.
desired.
Well, I think this is the best period Sri Lanka have had in the series so far. The intent is good, and that is some great work from the big fella to charge that down. Tilina Bandara has had a very good game today.
He did. He's been a real Trojan for Sri Lanka, putting in a lot of work in that second row position. He's got to be the sole line-out target as well. Sri Lanka really have to make this scrum count. Like to see Lasinda Vishan line up Jamie Bedford here.
No real short side to work with. I would love to see Ikanaka get in the game here. He's set up right behind the scrum.
Oh, this is a beautiful scrum. Really good scrum from the underweight New Zealand side, and just goes to show that technique is everything.
Well, we'll try to take a look at that replay. That was just absolutely on spot. Take a look at this. Waited, and now everybody getting together and just decimating the Sri Lankan scrum. Sri Lanka, when they thought that they could relax and the ball was at the back, New Zealand really putting the pressure. Lasindu standing up straight, not crouching down, not waiting for that ball to come to him, but very eager to be picking up that ball. Really dismantled that scrum.
Karuna Talaga thought he had scored already, and so there was no weight coming from number 8. He was disengaged from the scrum, essentially waiting for his turn with the ball, and that's cost them in the end.
Use it now.
Pulasi Dasanaika in the front row also being lifted up there. And Sri Lanka's scrum just going to pieces. And what a wonderful clearance from Jared Percival that time. He knew that it was his charge down that put his team in trouble, so he's made sure he's got them 50 meters. Sanat Martis, the head coach, looks a bit grim at the moment.
Well, most times they're not. He'd like to have that expressionless face, Shanak, even when his teams are absolutely dominating the opponent, but he will be having a keen eye. 3 points to 17. Sri Lanka with a couple of chances going begging.
Can I get 8, please? 8, yes. Who's 8?
That's the coach,
You 8.
forwards coach next to him,
Stay in
Dushan
the scrum in
Leuke.
the back. Don't slip up there.
He will not be happy with
Your
what
friends
he's
need
just
you to
seen
scrum,
on
not
that
stand and
scrum
look
end.
pretty there, okay?
Oh, they've done well.
Come on, let's fix that.
The men in black to withstand that pressure. You can see the perspiration on Josh Gillett. It is a hot night in Colombo, and it's New Zealand at the moment. They've got a torch on the Sri Lankan
Turn
side.
back on. 3
But
minutes
they've had
to
to
be
do it
exact.
tough. The last 10 minutes have been some of the best we've seen from Sri Lanka so far in this series.
We've got to allow it to carry on, Sri Lanka. Can't afford to rest before half-time. This
Own
is
player,
a dangerous
own
period
player,
of the game. If
own
New Zealand
player.
score again, it could be a mountain too high, so Sri Lanka really need to make sure. Nicely taken by Tarindu Chaturanga that time, who was chasing up.
You can't dive in
Oh
like that.
dear, Sri Lanka with an unnecessary
Can't
mistake
dive in
there.
like that, lad. We're sweeping the floor there.
Well, it's just come off, clearing out from the wrong angle, and that's a real shame because the momentum was with Sri Lanka again. I thought the box kick was a really good option. Put the high kick up, the chase was good.
That's the one I don't want
Ben
to see.
Cinnamon, assistant coach,
That's-
looking on alongside Bryce Lawrence, who's travelling with the team. She's got a great name for this tour, doesn't he, Ben Cinnamon?
Just staying at Cinnamon Properties in Kandy and also in
Yeah, I
Colombo.
can't do that.
Co-sponsor
Line is
of the
middle.
tour as well.
There you go.
Might walk away the brand ambassador contract
Can we please give the
before
numbers earlier?
he
please?
knows it. This is the clear out, and Dinal Ekanaika was the man who left his feet.
I sometimes look at decisions like that in the context of the game, and I know to the letter of the law that the right decision has been made, legally speaking. But the ball is there. It's available for Sri Lanka to use. So Ekanaka had no impact on the players. Sri Lanka again picking New Zealand off at line out time, but unfortunately
Let
taken
go.
over by the Sunny Haka.
Indeed,
We'll have a line out,
Bryce
fellas.
Lawrence would have been talking about material impact on the game. There was no real material
You're on
impact
it.
there. It was
You're on it.
there was nobody over the ball, and this is where Tirina Bandara's tap back was a good one, but just couldn't be controlled by
Thank you.
Pulasi Dahanaika. Bandara has been one of the lone rangers, really done his job well. One of the few men who survived in the Sri Lankan forward pack from last week in that second row.
That's some good defence.
They've made a couple of hits and they've made them count. That's a rare inaccurate pass.
Rock!
Francis
No hands
Morrison.
off.
Ephraim's looks at the fringe and
Off
then
your
looks for the
feet.
big
Off,
carry from
hands off.
Tom Rowland of the Eden Lizards.
No release.
Oh, I just had to let go again. That's just technical non-thinking from Sri Lanka. They'd made the tackle, had to let the ball carrier go. Roland was on the ground. It was clear and obvious that he was allowed to present the ball,
Yes, Jared, what are you doing?
but he was stopped from doing so. by
Captain,
Chaturanga.
captain.
Jonathan Fernando that time not showing daylight and
Next
making
one is
sure
going bin.
that referee knows that he did give that fair chance for the ball carrier to press in the ball. Sri Lanka's mistakes are really hampering their progress. Shanaka's, they had a very good 10 minutes,
Last
no
play.
points to show for all that,
Last
but these
play.
mistakes really hampering their progress.
Certainly is, and that's something that the coaches will be livid about. Here's Jonathan Fernando going over the top. No release was the call. He was the tackle assist, so he really needed to show clear
Knock on the
daylight.
bodies.
Lasindu Ishan has managed to snaffle this ball from the New Zealand line, and Akash Madhushan finds his captain Darush Karanjan. Here's Srinath Surya Bandara to Johnny Dilshan. Now he needs to find support inside. Cutting back infield, and it's a good tackle made by Francis Morrison, and it's been knocked on by Sri Lanka.
Half time.
And that's half time as well. Another really promising
Yeah, he
passage
knocked
of
it in
play,
concept.
but Sri Lanka just letting themselves down at the last possible moment.
Yeah.
Sumo, there's absolutely nothing keeping this New Zealand defense guessing. And that's exactly what they've done to Sri Lanka. Put in the kicks. Oh, they've let that bounce. It could have been dangerous. But Karunatilaka is lucky that the bounce is favorable for him. Does well to leave the ball behind and run again.
He's a big presence, isn't he, Lucindu? Very big presence in the game.
Goes to the same barber as Josh Goodhue, obviously.
Outside.
But
Touch,
plays
touch, touch.
a very different brand of rugby. Francis Morrison, good communication in the end between him and Peter Schwartz. Ratwatta will thump this one back under no pressure, and that's a wonderful kick from Ratwatta. Quickly taken
Get back.
by New Zealand, and now there's a bit of space opening up for Danushka Ranjan. Can he find it? Cuts back in field though. Really good work from Pasi Asiata that time, just to slow that ball down and make sure that Ranjan couldn't get the offload away. Pulassi Dasanayaka came ever so close to a try early on off the back of a maul. Here's Lasindu, his first real strong carry of the match. Jansen. That's better from Sri Lanka, but the pass is not a good one. Knock-on advantage, and knock-on is now over as Campbell Busby bumps off Akash Madhusankar. Here's Petford, man who led the Haka. Scored a 95, was on the end of a 95-meter try, I should say, last week. One that broke the hearts of the Sri Lankan public and the backs of the Sri Lankan defense early in that game. Josh Gellert. Paxton. Ripped by Janidu Fernando, who has been good today except for that penalty that he gave away.
What was out net?
Asiata pickpocketing that one. Jaco DeWitt saying that was perfectly all right. And Petford will put Dinale Kanayaka under a lot of pressure. Tanuja Jayavira. It's not the place where you want your tight head prop. And Tarinder Ratwatta gets absolutely mauled. Now they need someone to clear this ball, and Sri Lanka will be very, very happy with that penalty.
Oh, Jawera, I think his heart was in his mouth when he took that pass. You do not want your tight head prop in that situation. He did well in the end, but putting enormous pressure on Ratwatta. Ultimately, Sri Lanka earned the penalty, which will allow them to get out of their red zone. But once again, the pace with which New Zealand can counter-attack, it is just continual pressure on the Sri Lankan defence.
Ratwatta this time around getting more time on his kick.
Substitute.
Gets play just outside the 22 meters.
Time off.
Tyree did very well at the end, despite
He's off
being
there.
in a very unfamiliar position.
You're on it, mate.
Tarendra Ratwatta again doing well as well to get away from the defenders. He could have been pushed towards
Time
the
back
goal
on.
line, but found his way out.
Yeah, he's a strong lad.
Can't fall there, lad. Falling over the offside line.
New Zealand just losing their discipline here,
Penalty
and
here.
this will be consecutive penalties for Sri Lanka to piggyback on and make their way into New
Going over
Zealand's
the line of
half.
touch.
Just a few discipline issues early in the second half for the New Zealand side.
Well, Sri Lanka will need that, Sumo. They will need
And
New
that's
Zealand to be
refocus
as
discipline,
profligate
please.
as Sri Lanka were in the first half with some
Yeah, he just
opportunities.
went over the line of
So
touch.
they will need New Zealand to
Milan's
play
not over,
less
you can't
well,
go over there.
and that's where,
You're on it, mate.
that's very clear. That's a penalty in the line out every day of the week. Fell right over. And Tirina Bandara manages to get that after a bit of a juggle. Here's Nilar, and that's a good offload as well to Dasanayaka, who goes over the 40-meter line. Good clear out that time from Tarindu Chaturanga as well. Heshan Jansen has to hair back to get this ball available. Danushka Ranjan dragged down by his opposite number, Campbell Busby. This is where Sri Lanka can be dangerous.
Move!
Chaturanga. Here's Lasindu. Again, New Zealand's defense is up and it's quick. Tilina Bandara.
Away, no way!
Marasinga, the two second rows handling in tandem. Neela. Jansen goes back blindside. Here's Marasinga again, but wow, he's met with a
No words!
copybook tackle from Josh Gellert. Blindside they go, 3-on-2.
Away!
Dasanaik has carried well in this build-up. Johnny the Fernando bumps off Tom Rowland once and then twice. Jack Lady can't rip the ball. Heshan Jansen. Tarindu Chaturanga again. This is good from Sri Lanka. Pasia Asiata just got his hands on the ball.
Holding on. Jack over.
Oh, the attack's better. It looks better. The shape is better. They're at the line.
Good work, 8.
Again, it's a little bit too easy to read for New Zealand's defence, but they were bending New Zealand on that occasion, and it was very good work to make the steal. Isolated the player, got the opportunity. Eamon Riley into the match.
Well, we'd like to see that one again. Pasiasiata was quick on the ball, that's for sure, but did he survive the clean out?
Yeah, I thought that the clean out did arrive a second
Black
earlier.
5,
Take a
black
look at
3
that.
substitution.
The next ball carrier.
5 and 3. 5 and 3.
Chaturanga goes to the ground.
No, you 4. 5 and 3.
I think if you're a Sri Lankan fan, you can feel slightly aggrieved at the speed with which the referee blew his whistle on that occasion. But you have to say, Asiata got himself in a good position.
Shankar,
He was
hold that
tackle
time,
assist, he was straight onto the ball.
Number 4, sorry, they called number 5. I'm just doing
They
what
call
they
it
say.
painting pictures in the game of rugby, painting a picture for the referee, trying to convince him or her that you have the dominance in any given situation.
And Asiata did
Sorry,
that really well, you have to say.
5.
And this is where Sri Lanka
Time back
suffered
on, let's
in
play.
mid-interval as well. The clean out was just a second too slow. And again, disrupting in the line out. Nicely done.
Yeah, knock on, looking for options. Sri Lanka's owned the line out tonight. They've been very good as Roddy Paxton gets, Ridgely Paxton, should I say, heads to the bench, and I think that'll bring the big fella Tyler Conning into the game. But they have been very good
Let's go, lads.
from a line-out point of view, both setting up their own drive, contesting possession, winning ball off New Zealand's throat. It's been one department, so you could say they've had dominance tonight.
Tyler Koning in the number 20 jumper is on the pitch, replacing Ridgely Paxton. Sri Lanka now have a nice
Crouch.
blind side to work with.
Point!
But you're up against Josh Burden and Pasiasiata, two of the best defenders in this New Zealand side. So
Get up.
that's probably why Lasindo Ishan
Can you guys bind
hasn't
onto
been
your own
going off
player
the
and
back
keep
too
it pace?
often.
Let's bind and keep onto it.
But first, they'll need to make sure that they get their scrum right.
right.
We've
Both of
seen
you.
a couple of times
It's a you
Sri Lanka
problem.
have
You too.
tried to think about what they can do soon after the scrum before really setting this scrum up.
Shoulder to get it out.
So they will have to make sure first
Thank you.
they go for the low crouch and make sure that they hold on to the
Crouch.
scrum, because remember they have the weight
Point.
advantage.
6.
It was Graham Henry's mantra when he was coaching, wasn't it? That whole coaching team of Steve Hansen and Wayne Smith. Get your job done first. Don't think about anything else until you have to. Akash Madhusanka. That's a nice little wraparound and beautiful ball from Srinath Surya Bandara. Dinal Lekanaika cutting back infield, but superb defense again from Eamon Riley. Rathpatha has to go himself. He runs straight into the tackle of Tyler Koenig. Marasinghe carries strongly. Tom Rowland brings him down.
This is where I'd like
Good
to see some
counter.
more options. Need some more options available to
Away,
support
no
the ball
way.
carrier, so they've got an opportunity to pass, short ball, wide ball. Penalty is given again. This is a good opportunity here for Sri Lanka.
Busby was good, but the tackler didn't roll away there. Sri Lanka maybe will think of taking a scrum here, perhaps.
Going to be an interesting call here.
Yes,
Tarun
decision.
Rathod, they're having a word with
Scrum.
the lot, wanting to make sure
Time off. They're going to take a scrum, lads. Yeah. Let's just sort
that
out that.
they make the correct call, and they've gone for a scrum. Opportunities on both sides for the backs now.
In
Jonathan
and out,
Fernando
in
reversed the
and
ball
out.
carrier that
In
time.
and out. They put a lot
Two
of
men
pressure on
carrying
the
coming
scrum.
in, but the tackler needed to get away so that the clearance could come through for Sri Lanka. That's why the penalty was awarded, Jonathan Fernando.
So Busby was fine there, number 13, going over the ball, but it was number 18, Fraser Harrison, who was lying around and preventing that
Run
ball
back
coming
on,
back.
let's play,
He's the one who
gents.
gave away the penalty there. So this is a wonderful attacking opportunity, the kind of centre field scrums that coaches rub their hands
Yeah,
with when
but they get it
they're
out quickly,
coaching
yeah.
on the whiteboard.
Crouch!
Now can they execute? Salia Kumara will
Point.
be watching and
Six.
hoping his backs will come up with some magic.
They're going to come right.
Jansen behind Madhusan's back to Rathpatha, and here's Surya Bandara
Last feet,
almost
8.
to the touchline. Jansen, Bandara again. Does so well, Tirina Bandara. Does the difficult stuff that nobody else wants to do. Danushka Ranjan It's 2-on-1, nice cut back in field from Dina Lekanayaka, but nobody's in support. Untitled Chapter does really well to get there. Here's Janidu again, he's been so good for Sri Lanka, trying to win his place back in the front row. Ratwatta, it's slow. He's looking for someone, Asiata.
No hands, no missed it.
Maybe a little bit high, but referee lets it go. Nila asks for a latch, there's no one latching on him. Now he goes. It's around the neck from Josh Gillett, but not dangerous.
Say that again.
Lasindu, the pick and goes will go just so far for Sri Lanka. Ball is dropped and Nila looking for the pass, but there is a penalty coming.
7. High tackle, sorry, high tackle.
Third penalty back
Yeah,
to
the
back,
previous tackle, yeah.
against
He goes
the
down,
Kiwis.
but you still got to work lower.
With some of them having their arms on the hips. Now it's the
Going there now.
opportunity for Sri Lanka to
3 now,
strike
next one.
and strike hard, get that first score on this second exchange. 3 points to 17 needs the scoreboard. It hasn't changed since the first 40. And this time
Garrett's
around,
still on.
Tarinder Ratwatte says, let's try out for a line out.
Well, I mean, it's hugely attritional style of play, that one of ball running from Sri Lanka, and you can see what it's taking out of the Sri Lankan pack as much as anyone else. There was hands on haunches as the whistle blew. Now they're agonisingly slow to this line out. The momentum
Captain.
is with Sri Lanka. This is when they need to find an extra gear.
Cannot have the mini.
It's tiring
Come on, there's
defence.
no player sitting.
They need to
Okay.
up the
Okay,
pace
you can go get
themselves,
one from the
attack-wise,
side,
look to
but
this
not on the
back line.
pitch. Yeah. Okay, have a word with him quickly.
Great shots of that high hit, even though the ball carrier was low.
Hold them, hold them.
Defenders are expected to go even lower. As that's the end of the evening and the end of the playing portion of the tour for Tom Rowland, who has been excellent
You can get water on the outside.
on the loose end
I
side
got
of
him
that
on the
New Zealand
outside.
scrum. Tom Rowland of the Eden Lizards. Tirina Bandara changing the point of attack. Navin Marasinghe repeating the drive they did on the other side of the field. New Zealand have held him up.
Well, he's got to get to ground. He's got to get to ground. It's a maul, and New Zealand are going to win the turnover again.
That is
a maul,
fantastic
lads.
defense from New Zealand.
It's a maul.
Absolutely
If the
fantastic
knees goes
defense.
down after
Navin
the maul, it's
Marasinghe
gonna
is the
maul.
biggest
They cannot
man
be attacked
on the
with a maul.
park by
We're
some
playing
distance. They
international
managed to
rugby, we
hold
should
him
know
up
that, thank you.
and create a maul.
Terrific defensive work, isn't it, from New Zealand? Despite being involved in that ball,
Time off boots, yeah.
forwards managing to track back and make sure that they see off Navin
Captain, who's
Marasinghe,
captain
like
now?
you mentioned,
7.
the giant on the park.
We had 3 penalties in the 22. No more.
Very unfortunate for Sri Lanka. Marasinghe really had to go to ground, and he had to be mindful that he doesn't go to ground inside in goal, and that's why he slowed down, I believe, at the end. Take a look at this. Couple of players. Now he thinks about going down, but at that point, everybody underneath him getting their shoulders.
Great work from Ben Bigala there. He's the one who held him up initially.
Lose
Then
it.
Pasi Asiata getting in there and holding him up as well, looking at the referee, knowing that exactly what he's trying to do.
Before set, you are on a
Yeah, it's a big bench effort, isn't it? Matt Treby, Ben Bigala, Fraser Harrison, all involved in that defensive play. Well, there's a lot of talk about what this team was going to be named, apart
Turn
from
back on,
New
let's go,
Zealand
fellas.
under 85 kilogram, but they were gifted a Māori name for this tour, Ngā Hiko Hiko o Pango, which is flashes of black.
Hiko Hiko Pango.
patience.
Maori,
Approach.
some of the Maori terms are very, very close to the
Boy.
Sinhalese language that we have.
Yes,
Sit.
as are a lot of the customs and our respective greetings. Baiwan and Kia ora, very similar in meaning.
Ben makes
Oh,
it.
big defense.
Akash Madushan and Tarinder Ratwatte taking no prisoners, but despite that huge defense, New Zealand still managing to get the ball away and exit. Wow. That was, I think, as Ian Smith would say, good cricket all round.
I thought Megson thought he was going to be carried all the way to Candy for a second then.
Okay, it's over now.
He was just picked up like a suitcase. Have a look at this. Over the shoulder, fireman carry. Man, he is going backwards at a rate of knots. Needs one of those reverse beeps on him.
Still has the presence of mind to transfer the ball to Campbell Busby. And that's the maturity and the experience showing.
Yeah, didn't panic, didn't want to throw it around. He knew exactly where he was. And Busby safely getting it down. Tilawanda yet again has been absolutely spot on.
Oh, that's on, and pass was on.
Sri Lanka have missed a few of those opportunities for sure.
Can't play the halfback 16.
But now New Zealand giving away a few more penalties. Sri Lanka need desperately to capitalise.
Oh, Matt Treby just having an argument, but it's all smoke and mirrors and a bit of a distraction. I mean, the referee must be very close to having a conversation now. Josh Gillette, I think, is on-field captain at this stage of the game.
Gonna have a shot.
He's got to be saying, you've got to get your discipline under control. And Sri
Putting
Lanka
in the
here
half-back.
have decided to have a shot at goal, and I feel that's somewhat of a capitulation and a disappointment for the fans here today.
Well, that's an admission of defeat, isn't it, Somo? I don't want to put too fine a point upon it, but you've had two much easier kicks that you've turned down. You've taken a scrum, you've taken a line out. Sri Lanka absolutely needed to go for the corner here and show the crowd that they're here to play. Absolutely nothing in that, really. But as Sumo said, just making sure that you divert the referee's attention from the fact that you've given away 3 penalties on the bounce.
Interesting call. Maybe Sri Lanka wanting to be the team that scores first in the second half. Ragwati does not have a problem. 2 out of 2 for him. 6 points on the board for Sri Lanka, something for the crowd to cheer about. But the Tuskers will really rue the chances that they've just given away.
Yes, there are chances that were thrown away by a side that you wouldn't expect at a national level. And this is Sri Lanka's first choice team. So you really want to make sure that the accuracy is good. Somehow the decision making out wide has not been 100%.
I'd just love to see the Tuskers just find one extra gear in this game. They've kept New Zealand scoreless now for the best part of 30 minutes in this match, possibly longer. A try for the Tuskers, and this game takes on a very different complexion. Great run on Riley.
Eamon Riley bumping off 2 tacklers, and now it's available for Tyler Cooney, who cuts back on the angle. Tarindu Chaturanga. Tackler not rolling is the call again.
Well, that's the other issue about taking the kick for goal. While it's 3 points in the bank, New Zealand good from the restart. Sri Lanka not defending well. Riley carving off an awful lot of metres, and now New Zealand straight back into scoring position, which will cancel out the penalty should Riley be successful with this kick.
Riley marching the ball about 3 meters forward from where the penalty was awarded. But referee Jako David marching him right back.
He's a great character. As Eamon Riley works for Auckland Rugby as a development manager, looking after the under 18 grades in the Auckland region. He's a super kid.
Well, if Auckland Rugby wants to station development officer in Sri Lanka, I'm sure he'd be most welcome as he knocks over the first points for New Zealand of this second half. It's 3-all in the second 40.
Sunlight here around and beautiful beaches. I think we might be able to try and tempt him here. But what this tour has been absolutely wonderful for both the nations, isn't it, Scotty? Especially given the fact that these lads have come on their debut tour to an island that they thought was only popular for cricket, but they've absolutely been flabbergasted by the love of rugby, love of the oval-shaped ball game here.
So Shana, we've all had our eyes open to the reality of Sri Lankan rugby, and look at this stadium here. It is absolutely packed to the gunnels. We have been treated so spectacularly well by all Sri Lankans we have met. The hospitality is second to none. The passion for the game is so clear and obvious. We simply must come back.
We simply must. And Sri Lanka simply must score as well. They've got to get a try under their belt. Otherwise, they won't be able to meet their training partners who were billed as the second string but managed to score against New Zealand.
Backwards.
Surya Bandara quick onto that dropped ball. Last into Ishan, but again the tackle technique from Megson is so good. Just doesn't allow Ishan to free his hands. Rapatad as well on the floor to present nicely, but now there's no fly half. Johnson will think about the box kick. Might be a little far, and Francis Morrison, who hasn't had a lot of running to do in this game yet, finds Pasi Asiata. Asiata puts his ears back. He'll take on Surya Bandar, and that's a lovely little short ball over the top. Dinale Kanayaka managing to rescue it.
Oh, that's the smallest of knock-ons. Could have gone either way, in my opinion. Assistant referee on the spot to call it.
No water.
And what a run that is from Pasi Asiata. He has been outstanding so far in the series. And the pace he showed to try and get on the outside of Ikanaka. He did well just to grab the ankle. Riley looked inside. The opportunity was there, and then just a little bit too much from Francis Morrison.
A little bit of a volleyball set from Francis Morrison. Didn't find Bedford, but you look at Pasi Asiata and you cannot deny his skills, Sumo. And you just got to feel sorry for guys like him who are not 105, 110 kilos and can't make it to elite rebel. And that's what this grade of rugby, this category of rugby does. And that's why Sir Graham Henry is so passionate about the community game, keeping players like him in the game.
Well, I'm aware that the club rugby season in New Zealand's just kicked off, so you'll see under 85 teams playing across this weekend and would have played earlier this morning, New Zealand time. But that's the other great thing about a tour like this. Forming a national representative team from the grade gives so many more players maybe an inkling that they'd like to join in and be a part of it. So you're right, it's about connection to the game, long-term connection to the game in participation, not just a social side of rugby.
Eamon Riley manages to get his hands free. He's been excellent since he's come on. Got his hands on it again and finds Francis Morrison, and this is a great pass. Beautifully spotted, and Megson manages to get the inside ball in as well, as does Bedford, keeping the ball alive. Francis Harrison, and Treeby's over. In fact, it's Josh Gellert, the vice captain, on-field captain at the moment.
It is going to be water break now.
Found his momentum and got over. And again, think about Josh Gellert and Josh Burton and how well they've played. We think about the most famous Josh Gronfeld, and even he would struggle to find a place in current modern rugby, wouldn't he?
Oh, he was a wonderful player, but this was well set up again. But just look at the line. It's a tough line. He's trying to break through shoulders. Gets the weak shoulder he was looking for as well. And I think Korogora will be rather disappointed with his effort there. They spread Sri Lanka right across, and I thought the scramble was good. Petson trying to keep the ball alive, and that's been one of the hallmarks of this New Zealand side, always looking to keep the ball alive. Another good set from Josh Purden. The two Joshes once again have been outstanding in this match. In fact, 6, 7, 8. They've been, to me, the linchpin of this team. The work they each get through in a game as the conversion is successful and New Zealand stretch again.
Yes, it's where Sri Lanka have been outdone, hasn't it? It's been the units. It's been the back row unit and how they have played, how technically sound they have been. The decision-making from 9 and 10. Jackson F. Frames has been taking the right options, calling the right side of the field every time that's been possible. And of course, that back three unit, Francis Morrison, has been absolutely outstanding, keeping his wingers in the game, always giving them something to chase, a line to run, and of course the midfield combination of Megson and Busby. They've been battering rams when they've had to, and scalpels when they've had to as well.
Oh, Riley's had some beautiful touches. Remember, he came on as a substitute in Candy. He had a line-straightening run to set up a try for Francis Morrison. Since he's been on the field here, he's had a great run from the kickoff, setting New Zealand up for their scoring opportunity off the boot of Riley. He's been very involved in everything, and one of the great features of Riley's game is his willingness to get involved in consecutive actions. Take the hit up, then play halfback, then look to guide the team around. He's been very, very good today.
Akash Madhushankar called in for this game, have had some very good moments, but Sri Lanka haven't found that continuity in the game. which would have really troubled the New Zealanders if they could ride on momentum. But the New Zealand under-85s have been absolutely on spot. Tarandu Chaturanga giving away that penalty after falling over in that clearance. It was the first score for New Zealand, and this try by Gallant, knowing exactly where the line was.
Well, I think too, there's a demonstrably clear difference between the two sides, which is their late phase attack. Sri Lanka seem to be a team that runs out of ideas.
That was
phase
backwards,
play.
but
New
he
Zealand
knocked it.
seems to spring to life and have continual options available. That to me is one of the key differences between these two teams in this series.
It comes back to the 3 C's, doesn't it, Sumo? Conditioning, conditioning, and conditioning. And Sri Lanka are left with their hands on their hips after about 7 or 8 phases, where New Zealand are desperate to run onto the ball at that point.
Not yet, no.
Let's look at this all new front row for New Zealand. Let's see whether they can
Approach!
hold on as well as their starting front row did against this
Fine!
Sri Lankan pack, which is significantly heavier than them. Mohammad Rifan has come on for Heshan Jansen and loses the ball the first time of asking. Dinale Kanayaka coming in from the left wing as a ball carrier is forced to tidy up. Madhusanka. And this time it's Senra Pereira who's on the park as well in the number 19 jersey. It's better for Mila.
No hands!
Carried forward by Hafiz Thabit as well. Nice inside ball that time from Lasindu. And running onto that fast and hard was Senra. Showing a little bit more urgency than he did when he started. That's beautiful from Akas Madhusanka.
Great read again from Megson. Geez, good defensively.
He has been fantastic today on both ends of the pitch, as has Campbell Busby. But Sri Lanka lucky to get another penalty. They've got to tap this and run surely.
No. You're just falling there. It's not a free fall. Let's go. Keep your weight.
Yeah, Busby has been absolutely incredible, hasn't he? Has had a hand in almost all the tries that the Kiwis have scored, and also especially when it comes to the defensive aspect as well in that 13 jersey jumper.
Colombo skyline, spectacular as usual, and a spectacular atmosphere here that Sri Lanka will want to live up to in the last few moments of this game. Was losing their feet, I think it was Matt Treeby. Sri Lanka desperate to score.
What an incredible sight that is. Wouldn't we love to see this again next year? It's a perfect night in Colombo. Sri Lanka looking for their first try.
Here's a drive, but again Josh Gillett managing to get into difficult positions for the attackers, and he's been pinged that time and told to go back. Rifan, Ratwata, Dinale Kanayaka on the unders line. Shahid Zumri, who's come onto the pitch in place of the captain, but he's muscled back by Megson. His first season of international rugby for Shahid Zumri, a mercurial player in the schools arena where he's just graduated from. Plenty of learning from these under-85s for players like him. Ratwata, Ranjan, still on the pitch. And here's a show and a go from Zumri. So it looks like he's come on for Srinath Surya Bandara at the fullback position. Nice angle from Tarandu Chaturanga. He's been good today. Ratwata.
Knock on advantage.
Knocked on by Hafiz Thabit, but again the recovery from Pasi Asiata. He shot up, and his ability to come back really quickly and form that defensive line again. The regrouping from New Zealand has been excellent.
Number 5 and number 12 black sub. Time is
Vimukti
off.
Pereira, who absolutely knocked that ball. Tarindra topped him for a back of the hand, and the replacement prop wasn't privy to that. has been the story, hasn't it? Sri Lanka there and thereabout.
Okay, lads, can we go?
Yeah, it's the last pass. It's the small mistakes. It has proved costly. I would say this about this game here in Sri Lanka today, and I think about all the rugby being played around the world. I've seen Super Rugby today in Australia, New Zealand. This will be the biggest crowd in world rugby today. Anywhere in the world for me.
Yeah. No, this is awful. Lads, we're like this. We're not
Even
square,
the
set
URC
square.
sumo?
He's in front of you, so that's
Much
never
better.
going to be straight. Thank you.
Wow.
Let's go.
Yeah, those English stadiums aren't the biggest. So that's World
Crouch.
Rugby, take note. Sri Lanka
One.
is a venue.
Sit.
I will bring the passion any day of the week. And something that we are unmatched is when it comes to our hospitality.
Asiata goes off the back of that scrum, but unfortunately New Zealand can't make it stick on the short side there.
Oh, that was Ned Milne. He just got himself a bit tangled up. The perspective's quite different here as well because the stands are so far from the touch lines. So
Just hang on.
having to get used to that as well. Trying to understand where in relation to the sideline you are on the field. Ned Milne, fresh on the pitch.
Yes, it's something even the Sri Lanka team struggles with because they don't always train here, Scotty. So that's something that when the kickers come into play and when the wingers and fullbacks need to position themselves, it's always a little more difficult because they train and play week in, week out on grounds that have hoardings much closer to the touchlines. Rifan
No, stay there.
looks for that left-footed box kick. Nicely taken, nicely chased. Didale Kanaika has tried manfully on that wing, but precious little to work with.
Well, I'm pretty sure Riley tried to call for a fair catch
clean
then.
out.
Didn't realise he was outside his 22, so it wasn't available to him as an option. Conning has to reach behind and grab this one.
Release. Yes, inside.
They've done well, New Zealand, even in difficult situations, to get out of them
Straight through, lad.
competently. That's where Sri Lanka need to get a little bit better to make sure they have a plan B and exit.
9.
Sri
9.
Lanka haven't been
9.
very good
Your
when
guys
it
are
comes
in
to
the
the
consistent
exit,
movement
which has
of putting
really
up pillars
troubled
for you
them.
to block. Be careful.
New Zealand, on the other hand, like you mentioned, the exits have been absolutely spot on, which has really broken the confidence and
Just move
the
forward.
momentum of the
Move
Tuskers.
forward. Yes, mate, what's going on?
It's really good awareness too from Francis Morrison there, making sure Sri Lanka were unable to throw the ball quickly and get on with the game. And you can see the ice towels on the head, just trying to stay cool. It is energy sapping heat here in Colombo. No one in the Sri Lankan team is immune either, I would say.
I don't think it was a clear and obvious one. I don't think it was one that
No, it's not pleasant conditions to play rugby at this intensity for sure. It's a winter sport in most parts of the
Strapped
world.
up, ready to go?
Unfortunately, winter is not a reality in this part of the world.
Time back
Here on
on.
a lucky day during winter, it'll be 26 degrees in Colombo.
I mean, it's still winter, isn't it? It's just
Okay,
no
go.
one's going skiing.
Nice ball to the back.
Backwards.
Guru has come on. The line out throwing from him has been good, and New Zealand though are like hyenas to a carcass there as the ball has spilled. Oh, and those are the mistakes that have let Sri Lanka down. That's Lahiru Tilakaratne, who's on the pitch in the third row. Just got a little over-eager there.
It's a tick over 11 minutes remaining in this fixture, in this series. New Zealand's lead now. It won't be caught. We can rule that out, but this crowd, I'm sure, would be delighted just to see the Sri Lankan side scoring a try. Doc Taylor has been kept busy today.
Yes, Sri Lanka need to send this Colombo faithful home with a try. At least one. Got 11 minutes in which to do it.
Time off. Time off. You six.
But gents, as we come very close to the last 10 minutes of this competition, we've been given the responsibility of
Okay, the guys that were here
adjudicating
from the start, they did a brilliant
the
job.
set
Now you
player of
guys
the
are getting
match
in on the
and
second
also
line.
player of
It's
the
not a
season.
pre-engage. We're not under 13 boy rugby. Let's go get a gap and work on the basics and do it right. Let's go.
Set player of the match, I believe, is going to be the easier one of the two because there have been players who put their hands up in both the games, and also some players who really shown in the games. The fanning, the conditioning when it comes to the fans as well from New Zealand for the fanning, it has been constant from start to now.
Fans with fans. Oh, they'll be doing it tough. Don't worry about that. They'll be straight home for cold showers at the Cinnamon Grand after this fixture.
Frames has stayed on the pitch. No Gordon Hull today, as Adam Preston carries this one. It's quick ball again to the blind side, and pushed into touch is Campbell Busby. Again, losing his bearings a little bit.
Just a bit of a head collision for Luke here as well. New Zealand just losing shape a little bit as this game winds down into its final 10 minutes. And Campbell Busby has been busy. I mean, you can put your hand up, can't you, for or to make a case at least for a number of players in this New Zealand side. But it's a heck of a responsibility.
Well, there's one standout for me today. It's been really easy as far as I'm concerned. Scotty, it's been Ben Megson for me. I think he's been absolutely outstanding in both attack and defense, and helping out Jared Percival with that clearing boot as well. That's my vote at least, and I'm a democratic man, so I'm going to leave it to both of you to agree or disagree.
I couldn't argue with you. As soon as Shirashana mentioned the fact that we'd have to take on this responsibility and the onus of choosing the player of the match was on us, Mexon's name immediately sprung to mind. I mean, he has been in everything in this game. He's been the midfield general, and Campbell Busby also an accomplished player, but Mexon's ability to read almost every Sri Lankan move, the hits he's put in, the way he's able to set up on transition and support play. Ngatai Walker with the glasses, the head coach of this side. What an effort from the coaching team. They have had such little time together as a team, and yet look at the brand of rugby they've played, their performances, their cohesion as a group, their collective approach to the game. They have been outstanding ambassadors for our country and for the game of rugby union.
Will Henry will be very happy as well with the performance of his forwards against these big lads. The bigger lads, I should say. Menurako Dagoda will desperately want his team to spark something from this line out, even deep in their own territory. Goes over the 15-meter line, so everybody can come up pretty quickly, and that's where the penalty has been given away. So Sri Lanka's discipline has really let them down today. Just a few too many penalties in the first half, and that made sure that this game was uncatchable for them in the second.
Shot there of Inti Makara and Sabir Kadir, two of the main proponents of this tour, of this series. The work Inti has done, his connection to New Zealand, he has just done it all, and this is a dream come true for Inti, as it is for many of the rugby aficionados in this country. But I cannot thank him enough there in the middle with the beard, Sabir, who's running events on the right hand side, but you can see the smile. It's a very real thing for Inti. As I mentioned, a real dream come true moment.
Empty. Normally doesn't like limelight, likes to be behind the scenes, but couldn't get away from the production team of the Papare alongside Sabir Kal, who's also a very proud promoter of the game around the country as well. He was going in for another, and this time it's Morrison gets his name on the scoreboard.
Well, you can't keep him out of the score sheet, can you, Francis Morrison? He's enjoyed this tour, he's been excellent. And really, if any young players are watching some of these New Zealand players, this is the one that you've got to watch on attack. Makes all the right decisions, knows when to run, when to pass, when to straighten. He's been absolutely brilliant, and ends up with a deserved try. New Zealand signing off with a flourish. Eamon Riley with a little kick through.
Adam Preston in his first fixture as well. It's good support lines once again from this New Zealand side. It was the kick through from Riley. Took a kind hand from Sri Lanka. Now they're dancing. They've turned into a Papare band of their own, the New Zealand fans.
No, they've been absolutely amazing. They've enjoyed the game from the beginning, and they've showcased how to enjoy some rugby from the stands. Sri Lankan fans haven't asked second to none as well. They've enjoyed their rugby despite, and the best thing is, like we were chatting earlier, for Sri Lankans, most of the Sri Lankans, it's the All Blacks that they support when it comes to the world stage. So it's very close to home and home battle here for the Sri Lankans.
Well, they won't mind losing to a New Zealand team, I can tell you that much. But Sri Lanka, with plenty to do on the training pitch after this tour is over. It has been a really good eye-opener as an uncharacteristic mistake from Eamon Riley there, under no pressure.
Well, is this the moment for Sri Lanka? That's the big question. They're not going to get too many more moments in this fixture. Eamon Riley, slippery ball, and you can see he was just side on to the catch. Probably thinking about setting up for the play of the exit, or looking for the pass to relief. But I think from a player of match point of view from Seat, I think we'd all be in agreement in this table at least, boys.
Absolutely. Seat player of the match, Ben Megson, in that number 12 jersey for New Zealand, who's been the general in the middle field for New Zealand. But we also need to try and decide on who's been the player of the series right out the bat for New Zealand. We've had a couple of players, but Sri Lanka now with an opportunity for something for the fans to cheer about just before they wrap up the evening.
Sri Lanka winding up 6 meters short. Can they send the fans home with something to shout about? Here are the replacements pumping their legs. Referee didn't call maul, so they'll have to let this one go. Oh no, he has. He has called maul. Oh dear, Sri Lanka have had absolutely no luck today. Crucial moments, they've let themselves down, and sometimes the 50-50 calls have let them down as well.
Very unfortunate that time. I thought there was no stoppage, legs pumping, and now it's brought down. There was no more call, not even a second of stoppage there. Very unfortunate that time with the call.
Nalin Marasinghe, head in his hands. Tanuja Javira and Pulasi Dasanayake, who've tried manfully, have come up against a team with superior technique.
This is when the pack needs the biggest scrum of their lives here. Got to find a way.
Finally, a bit of pressure coming in from the front row, but Rifan does really well to get back there. It's advantage for Sri Lanka, so Rifan will have a free play. Here's Tenukananiakara. Zumri.
Gents, we also need to try and decide on a player of the series. So many players really putting their hands up. I thought Josh Kellett has been absolutely wonderful as well, and also Morrison at the back has been involved in so many of incredible moves for New Zealand, and also Ben Percival, who's been Terry Percival, the skipper, who's skippered his team on the debut tour, getting on the score sheet in Kandy and also here, but it's going to be a very difficult one for us to decide.
Well, it's three quality candidates, and as we mentioned last week, it was about those in the engine room, but I think the body of work from Francis Morrison across 2 games, it's not just the finishing prowess of Morrison. He's been the real spark plug for most of New Zealand's transition attack. He's run great support lines. He's got assists to his name as well as tries of his own. I just feel like he has been the catalyst for so much in this team.
And the fact that New Zealand have conceded only 1 try in, 175 minutes of rugby so far, means that the defense has been excellent as Sri Lanka drive this forward into the 22. They're still trying, Sri Lanka, and that's great to see. Luke Eyre trying to disrupt this maul, and Jaco de Wit has allowed him to do just that.
Yeah, we're forced into touch again. That's a real shame. Another promising moment for Sri Lanka has been snuffed out by this New Zealand defence, which has scrambled so adroitly throughout this series.
Srinath Surya Bandara also sitting on the sidelines, knowing that they need to get better before they take on South Korea, the UAE and Hong Kong in the must-win rugby games for World Cup qualifications later on.
They're going to be a very interesting 3 games, isn't it, for Sri Lanka, because they will play South Korea here at home. Soon after that, within 7 days, they will fly to Hong Kong, and then again taking on the UAE here at home. So it's going to be an interesting 3 games.
Numbers in the line out there, not matched.
Well, that's given Sri Lanka another opportunity. Scrum 15 in from the left-hand touch on the 22. Now these are the positions that backlines dream of. Have they got a strike play up their sleeve? Now's the time to show it.
Oh wow, what a big scrum from New Zealand, even in the dying moments of the game, but they managed to get the ball away. Dinale Kanaika, can't find Danushka Ranjan. Oh dear.
Oh, that lad had scored so many tries running that same line with Danushka Ranjan in support, but unfortunate at that time. I think the entire stadium, inclusive of all the Kiwis here, were supporting for Ekanaika to try and make that break.
You watch it again, the ball was just slightly delayed, which allowed New Zealand's defense to come up one step further than they would have otherwise. Eamon Riley gets across. The back of the hand offload. Oh, Busby does well. He's done enough in the last 5 minutes almost for us to bump Ben Megson off that Man of the Match award, but too little too late from Campbell Busby. It's been close between the two midfielders.
Oh no, and that's been dropped. The line-out drive was looking promising again for Sri Lanka, and the ball has just been spilled at the back as they were looking to transfer it to the rear of the maul, and that is illustrative of the frustrations this evening for the home side.
Well, you can see the Sri Lankans' body language. They know they have been second best in this series, and perhaps if the same team had played both games, then they might have been able to pick themselves up from the experience of the first game, but now they know where they stand. Now they know where their areas are that they need to work on. Now they know the personnel that they need to work on those areas. So it hasn't been all lost, even though New Zealand have been comprehensively the better side. Shahid Zumri.
Well, that's just come straight out the same channel of the scrum. That should have been Sri Lanka's ball.
Yes, it wasn't hooked. I didn't think it was hooked as Mohammad Rifan gets away. Rifan manages to dummy Pasiasiata. Can they run onto it? Madhushankar shows and goes, still on his feet. Madhushankar still fighting this Science College and Police Centre who has been so good for Sri Lanka in the last couple of games. Senra Pereira asking for it to be slowed down, but that's not what they need now. They need urgency. Can Sri Lanka finish this game with a bang? They run over the top of Asiata. That's the first time it's happened. The fatigue is catching up with New Zealand's defense finally. The cries of Sri Lanka, if you can hear them in the background. Oh, that's not a good pass. Inaccurate. And now it's on for Preston. Preston steps. Preston stays on his feet. And finally getting it back with Shahid Zumri. And he puts a ball to boot, and that's not probably the best option as time seems to have run out.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame for Sri Lanka. And they are left strewn across the park here at the Racecourse ground in Colombo. A valiant effort, an entertaining match once more.